Hey traders, checking into the stock market today. We had more stimulus headlines and a ton of volatility. If you were watching on the 5-minute time frame, it seemed unclear. If you zoomed out, we saw tons of support bounces and resistance rejections. We will look at those clear levels and how to block out the noise in just a moment.
Introducing the Chart Guys Swing Report, a weekly digital publication that uses technical analysis to identify long-term market opportunities. Understand the market from a swing trade perspective. Follow institutional money as it rotates from sector to sector, and make the most of the Swing Report's weekly trade opportunities, with key entry and exit levels provided. Performance is tracked and updated weekly. For more information, visit us at chartguys.com. Now, let's check out some charts.
So we're starting on the S&P 500 futures chart as is where I see clarity. We've got multiple daily inside bars. We know we are in a constricting range. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, yesterday a pattern stood out to me, and it is a falling wedge or a potential falling wedge. And looking at this mini pattern, I said, that reminds me a lot of the pattern that we were using back on the previous drop, where it looked like the sky was about to be falling, but we knew not to be too bearish as long as this downtrending support line was still intact, and we ended up breaking bullish. So I am currently viewing this current pattern, this little one, as pretty much just a micro version of the big pattern that we saw. And if you look at the daily time frame, it's fairly, you can see it's just a mini version. Low, little, lower, high, lower, low. This one was a lot more drawn out. So I am watching this S&P 500 4 hours futures chart as my guide. Until we break this pattern, this is the first thing I'm looking at every day and the last thing I'm looking at before bed. Aside from that, we had some clear levels to be playing off of today. It was more of your news headlines. And if you're sitting there reading the headlines and watching the 5-minute time frame, you're confused and you're throwing up in your mouth all day. Look at all this junk. It's junk. If you zoom out, it is very clear what's going on. We have the hourly time frame. Look at the high of yesterday, the low of yesterday, the high of after hours, the low of pre-market. The low of pre-market is a double bottom. This morning, we had a resistance rejection from the high of after hours. Perfect double top. Shorting right there. I was live streaming at that time. I said aggressive bears are top fishing that resistance level, and it worked out wonderfully. Then you can buy the dip and buy off support. We then rocketed up on whatever headline, whoever said whatever, who cares? And I top fished that resistance, so entered bearish, put my stop over this resistance is. We dropped all the way back down towards the low of the day. We bounced all the way back up to resistance. Heading into the end of the day, I posted, bears are watching this resistance level. If we reject into the end of the day, it's another good entry. Shorted it again from the same spot, essentially, as the first time, and then covered into the end of the day. And here we are at the close, bouncing off our support. It is an hourly equilibrium. The 5-minute time frame is a choppy mess. The hourly time frame is crystal clear. If all trading days were this clear as far as bouncing off supports and rejecting from resistance, trading would be easy. Obviously, that's not the case. Today was a gift day if you can block out the noise and focus only on the charts. I didn't care what any of the headlines said. I didn't read any of them. If we are heading to resistance, I'm shorting and putting my stop over resistance. And if we're heading towards support, I personally wasn't going long at those levels because I have long exposure in my portfolio through my swing positions in USMJ and no touch S&P 500. So I was making the bearish entries. I was leaving the bullish entries alone, knowing my account would benefit if we held support and bounced. I didn't want to be too overly exposed to one side, but it was a good day. IWM. So IWM daily inside bar, bear break, low of Thursday, 158.81 is still holding, but we're on the verge of breaking it bearish as we closed at the low of today. It was notable that the morning strength was from QQQ, and XLF and XLV were dragging their feet a little bit more. And if we see this bear break of 158.81, weekly consolidation will be underway, and we'll look for a weekly higher low compared to 142.09. And look at the closes. 5 of the last 6 days, we've closed at the low of the day. That is notable for momentum. When we're seeing strength, we close at the high of the day. So we're seeing weakness. It's just a question of, are we going to get notable follow through or not? And the answer is, at the moment, we have not seen notable bear follow through on IWM. QQQ multiple daily inside bars as well. Again, bulls aren't proving anything to us in the short term. We're rejecting from resistance, so we can't change hourly trends, but we are holding supports. And we have to see these inside bars break bullish to shift that short-term momentum in favor of the bulls. If we don't, weekly consolidation continues. And again, next week is the prime time earnings for the tech sector. Even if we see a bearish reaction in the tech sector earnings next week, we can drop down 7-8% and still be looking for a weekly higher low to form. So this weekly equilibrium may last through the earnings season and into the election reaction. Healthcare, daily downtrend, lower high, lower low. Inside bar, bear break today. Weekly time frame, consolidation underway. Pretty much a double top at the all-time high, and now the bulls must hold 177 cents for a weekly higher low compared to that level. I don't know about that. Gotta be cautious, says bulls. I'm going to try and make a video over the weekend about having a game plan for the next crash. We're going to crash again. Is it going to be in 2 days, 6 months, 6 years? I have no idea, but we will crash again. And you need a game plan as to how you're going to approach that. So I'm going to try and make a video over this weekend highlighting that a little bit more to try and get you prepared. XLF. So still holding supports, 24.57, 24.51. So if XLF breaks 24.51, we know IWM is going to break the support that's barely holding right now as well. And we're going to be looking at the 2-week tightening equilibrium on XLF to continue to play out. And we'll look for a higher low compared to 22.94. Biotech sector, bears in complete control, closing at the low of the day the last 3 days. Weekly consolidation very clearly underway. Higher low compared to 105.89 is needed. Semiconductors, barely holding 184.40. We actually broke it by 8 pennies, but no bear follow through at this point. Again, look at the closes. Low of the day 4 days in a row. Momentum is favoring the bears still, and we are on the verge of starting some weekly consolidation. It's still holding up better than most sectors, but it is following along very similarly. TAN. So TAN dumped today after a bull break yesterday. Granted, the bull break did not get a lot of follow through, and we're not surprised by the sell the news reaction. We've been talking about a sell the news reaction heading into the election for a couple weeks now, maybe a week or two. That's a couple weeks. But I personally put a little bit too much emphasis on time. I was going to start scouting a bearish entry into next week. I wanted the bulls to get one more exhaustion push up. And I missed this short because I was waiting for next week. So that was my mistake. Huge bear Marabozu candle, bear volume. Hourly RSI is crushed. I will absolutely be interested in a gap down open tomorrow for buying. Put extended hours on and that hourly RSI is low 20s. So if we were to gap down open tomorrow, I would be interested in buying that dip. I actually played a bounce today and ended up with a 30-cent win, which was a 15% day maker. So pretty much just exited on this 15-minute bear flag, recognizing that it was a bear flag. But this shifts everything psychologically. People will ask me whether something's a sell the news event or not, and I have no idea unless I know the price action heading into the event. So knowing that either president is bullish solar, and the perception is that Biden is a bit more bullish, keeping in mind Trump approved the largest U.S. solar project in history just a few months ago. Both presidents are bullish. Running up, if we run up overextended into the election, we are expecting a sell the news scenario and a sell-off. Well, now things have changed. We are getting that sell the news scenario, but now we're going to be looking to buy the weekly dip. We're going to look to buy the weekly higher low. And again, it would be better for the sector, perceived better, if Biden were to win. So if you think Biden's going to win, you're looking to buy this weekly higher low on the solar sector heading into the election. And you look at this and say, well, is the solar sector starting to price in Trump winning? I personally don't think so. I don't think anything's changed from yesterday into today for that to be the case. One sector that tells you who is being priced in is private prisons. Look at Geo. Free fall collapse. Geo bulls waited for their dividend 4 days ago and then ran for the exit as fast as they could. Look at this monthly time frame. It is just a 3-year downtrend at many year lows. CXW is the other name, at decade lows. And this sector is saying, this sector has been donating to Republicans more than it has any other election year. And this sector is telling us it thinks Biden is going to win. If Trump wins, there is a massive short squeeze and free money to be had as a bull. And if Biden wins, I wouldn't expect a ton of downside because it's already being priced in. So keep an eye on this sector. That's my wild card play. If Trump wins, all in private prisons the next day, and so I don't feel terrible about myself, I'm going to donate all those profits. The VIX. 30, 30.50, 31.20. We got up to 30.60 today, but closed near the low of the day. So it's not a convincing break. Bulls are definitely hanging around. Anything above 26.20 is a daily high or low. Don't have a ton of clarity here personally. I just know that we're not getting a breakout and we're not following through on a resistance break, so that much is clear. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some chop for the next week or so. Dollar. Great sign for asset bulls. Bear break of 93, daily downtrend confirms. And we're just looking down at 91.74, that low. Resistance, anything under 93.90 is just a daily lower high. Bitcoin is breaking out in a massive way. We've been covering that for a while. That's benefiting. Metals are definitely benefiting from the weak dollar. They're in a daily uptrend. They failed resistance today, but still a 4-hour uptrend, so no major red flags there. Again, all I care about is the daily high or lows. Can bulls keep that intact? Because I'm watching for a monthly bull flag. And silver's the same thing. Failed to break resistance, still a 4-hour uptrend, still daily high or lows, and the weak dollar is good for crypto, it's good for metals. Crypto news today was PayPal. Now you can buy and sell crypto on PayPal, and you can buy and sell goods. You can buy goods with crypto. So massive breakout, monthly bull flag confirmed, and 2 resistances before the all-time highs. Miners. So miners are not very clear for me. Anything under 41.34 is a daily lower high. We're certainly choppy over the last week plus. The metals are much more clear, so I'm using the metals as my guide. And I don't really have much insight on the miners, to be honest. And when that's the case, I am certainly not trading whatever chart I don't have insight on. I have no idea as far as, you know, having an edge or high probability of what direction we're heading from here on miners. So I don't trade it. It's pretty simple. Oil, bear break on the, or bear drop on the inventory report reaction. So yesterday we had a bull break of 2 of our 3 resistance levels. We could not get over 42.02. And now we're heading down towards 39.52 and 39.36 supports. If those levels break, it is a notable bear break after that resistance rejection. If those levels hold, we're still fairly range bound on the daily time frame. So key support approaching, long story short. And natural gas bulls still in their breakout mode. 1.5 highs, 278 cleared. Look at the weekly time frame. If we can clear 2894, look at the lack of resistance. After 2894 is 374. Bulls riding that 4-hour strong uptrend, strong daily uptrend, keeping complete control. So that's where we stand as we head into tomorrow. Let's see, can I think of a trade review that I did today? CGC. There are times when CGC will show you increasing bull volume the first couple candles of the day. And I have seen that multiple times, and I have learned to just buy when I see that. So I bought maybe 20.05, a market buy with no support nearby, aside from the low of the day, a long ways away. So again, it's an aggressive play. I entered, I waited for the 5-minute high or low, sold into strength. Not a big win, but just something that's very clear for me. 5-minute increasing bull volume from the first to second candle in the day is very notable on CGC. Other than that, the TAN trade, not really worth going over. Made a Tesla trade today. 5-minute cup and handle. So I bought Tesla first thing in the morning, anticipating a hold of 419 and that bulls would be looking to buy the dip before earnings. So a little win. I sold half into strength. I sold half on the pullback. And it was the kind of thing where I was just too overwhelmed. I had too many trades open and I was live streaming at the same time. And it was not ideal. But ended up with a small win in the morning. I then saw this rejection from resistance and I actually shorted this 5-minute lower high. I saw zero follow through on the pullback. I exited the short break even. And then I said, that looks like a cup and handle. So I saw this green 5-minute candle right here. And I said, all right, well, if this is a cup and handle, that means we're going to hold that low of 427. I entered in the 428s. I put my stop at 426.99. I'm risking $1.50. Nothing. If I get stopped out, it's an equilibrium, and I don't want a bullish position in that scenario. If I don't get stopped out, it's a cup and handle. So bull volume spike, nice follow through, and risking $1.50, the reward there is $4. So again, always wanting that reward to be bigger than that risk. Solid day today. Very grateful. The account's at all-time highs. It's been a nice, slow, steady month. Just base hits day by day to keep marching that all-time high account. We'll see how long this streak happens to go up. And USMJ helping as well. Thanks to TCNNF. Daily bull flag. Confirming. On the verge of it. Need a little bit more follow through, but we're getting there. And GTBIF, my other USMJ play. Also nice follow through. And that's that. Do good things. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. No new footage. Not much going on in the yard here into the fall. So we'll go back to some Florida from last year.